I need to be earning this much first, or I can't get married when I'm a student. That's another thing I've heard. But actually, you might manage to work part-time while you're studying and different things. I think as long as you can like pay your bills and look after, have enough to eat, then you go for it.
How do you guys deal with it? Not be always in agreement.
First of all, just realizing that not agreeing on everything is not a bad thing. So if you don't agree, it's not a bad thing, and it's important to respect the other person's opinion as well. So there might be something that I think is really important, and Izzy has a different opinion. I have to realize that there's more than one way to do something. So even things like how we do things in the kitchen. So I love like if I've washed all the dishes, I like it if someone comes to use another dish, so they just wash it too, and like
everything is clean and on the place.
Yeah, but not everyone's like that, and it's okay. And the other thing is, like, Izzy is more tidy than I am, so he's very good at hoovering and stuff like that, whereas I'm just not very good at that, and I'll like leave stuff like around the house, and it bothers him. But I've learned to not just be like, no, that's just the way I want to live, like leave me alone. I've learned that it's important to him, so let me keep the place tidy. It doesn't matter to me, but it's important to him. So I don't know, you learn those things, you learn to kind of compromise and not you don't have to fight those battles. If there's a way that you can help the other person by doing what they want you to do, then do it. But if there's something that you really feel like, no, we can't really compromise on this thing, then I would like discuss it with your husband, partner, and if they still don't agree, pray. Pray, because God is able to change their hearts, and like do it in a much better way than you. And it's more attractive to a man when you're submissive rather than being pushy and nagging all the time. That is not gonna move them. It'll make them more stubborn.
Exactly.
So yeah, I definitely would say if there's something that I feel is really important to me, but I can't, I've tried talking about it with my husband, then yes, I pray about it and ask God, like, God, please, like, do something for me. And then, so, but in terms of conflict, I would also say, even if we've had an argument or we've not gotten on, like, I will still do all the normal things that I would do anyway, like, make sure that we kiss goodbye or goodnight before we leave. Even if we're in bad moods, I try and be like, yeah, we're gonna do this. And I'm gonna like hold you in the bed whether you like it or not. I know you just had a big argument with me, but I'm just gonna sleep as close to you as possible. Yeah, like you might be annoyed, but it's okay. Yeah, just things like that. And
that's possible. I just want to know. Is that really possible, right?
Yeah. And then like, you know what? It just somehow softens hearts. And then before you know it, you're both apologizing to each other. And it's like, oh, I'm sorry. It's okay. I love you back. It works. I'm trying to think what else. Yeah, so I would say just try, if you're having an argument, try not to make it last longer than a day. Because the thing is, if both of us are not talkers, we don't always like, if we're upset about something, we can both be quite quiet rather than like say, oh look, we need to talk about this. So kind of making that like sulk time last too long will mean that any little thing, you'll just like add it on top. Oh, he like pressed the button like that. Oh, he's like left his cup in the sink. Like silly things. And then this small thing feels like this massive thing, and you're so angry. But But if you're just down with it earlier, then it wouldn't be a big thing. So yes, I would say like forgive easily and like try and sort things out quickly.
Wow.
And still do your normal like kiss goodnight, hold each other at night.
That's a good learning point. Let's see if that can happen. My auntie said this, and I was like, yeah, you're just saying it. Because it wasn't my cousin's wedding.
Yes.
And it was like the conversation like on the bride.
The kitchen party.
Yeah.
Call it kitchen
Kitchen party. And she was telling my cousin like, even if he does whatever, you just, and I was like, I can see it's because it's the wedding. It's something that you say before the wedding. Actually, it's true, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just
I'm gonna see.
I'm the one who tends to do it. I'm like a touchy-feely person anyway. I like hugs and whatever. So it'll kind of annoy him at first, and then he's like, "Oh, okay."
So you decide to do it.
Yeah,
right? Okay.
yeah. I just decide, even if I'm annoyed, even if he's annoyed, I'm just like, fine. I'm not gonna let like this silly argument stop me loving you, even if I don't feel like it, Yeah.
How is the hug?
No.
Do you hug and feel like, oh, stop it like behind your back, alright? You better don't do that, okay?
You know what? Maybe it's when he's annoyed with me that I do it. So I'm just like, oh, come here. When I'm upset, then actually you're right. I just stay in my corner. And he's the one who normally has to come and be like, it's okay. You're right.
Okay, now
I take that back.
Can you make now a point for you to try do this when you are not?
Yes, I will.
Okay.
I will.
Thanks, guys. See?
I'm still learning.
Thanks. When you'll be able to fulfill these commitments, you tell us, okay?
I will.
Thank you. Okay, let me see. Is there any question with Horace? So no, we need to ask like, so you got married like a very young age and all of these, like, were you guys all kind of financially stable, everything, like, what are like the basic things you would say one needs to have in place before getting married?
Okay. So I'm not an expert on this, but I think it is important to be financially stable, because if you're leaving your family home and everything, you want to properly live, and like not have to go back to your mom and dad and say, oh, can you help us? We need money for this, or we want to buy a house, can you help? Like that's okay, but I think it's important, and I think it is important to have some financial stability and be able to, because if that's not there, then you wonder like, are you ready to get married, But to be honest, I wasn't the financially stable one. I was working at the time, so I had money, but it was my husband that paid for the wedding. It was him that like paid for our home. So like a lot of it was him, investing, and I'm so grateful for that. But if he wasn't in that position, we probably would have gotten married a bit later, just to make sure we were both like ready and financially. Yes, I think so. I think that would have been wise. Yeah.
But would you say someone wouldn't get married because they don't have yet the job and the house and all of these, or can you kind of, like say, get married and then still work out the things? What is the best?
If you guys, I think there's no need to like have a big fancy wedding and buy a big fancy house, a big fancy car. Even if you can both get married, if you can pay for a little wedding, doesn't even need to be, you could just do a very small blessing at a church or whatever. And then if you can both rent a place to stay, even if it's 1 bedroom, then that's fine. Like, you know, so as long as you're able to look after yourselves, it's not about having a lot, but it's about having enough, I think.
Yeah.
Because even for us, you know, we've not had a lot in the past few years, but we've had enough to look after ourselves. So yeah, I think, yeah, don't delay it unnecessarily.
Wait till you're 30, you know what I'm saying? And have that fancy house, and that fancy car, and yeah, and then you're done.
No, honestly, these engagements that last like 4 or 5 years, I just don't understand. Don't get engaged until you're ready to get married. Anyway, it's okay.
Get engaged, get married.
Yeah.
Save yourself from trouble.
Yeah. So yeah, someone that loves God more than you, someone that, I don't know, you need to know where they're going in life as well.
True.
What are their goals? What's their plans for life? What are their ambitions? What's their vision? And does it line up with what your plans are? You know, you also really need to know yourself before you're with someone else.
True.
Know who you are, know what you like doing, what you don't like doing, what you want to do with your life. Because then when the right person comes along and you know who you are and you tell them this is who I am, and they tell you this is who I am and this is what I want to do, and it'll just click and you'll be like, yes, this is the right person, this is who I'm meant to be with. So yeah, I think put God first and look after yourself, love yourself.
Very important.
Yeah. Because no, you know, even the most perfect guy will not satisfy all your needs and longings. You need to find your satisfaction in God. Because there will be days that you just feel like, you know, like, why is this happening? And the other person, the person you married, won't understand you. But you have to know God is with you, and God loves you to take you through those times. Basically, make sure that you make the decision prayerfully, because you can go into something thinking like, oh, this person has money, drives a nice car. Like, have you met his family? Have you, like, do you see what he's like when you're not there? Do you see how he treats people? You know, and people that may be below him, what is he, does he serve a church, or does he just come in late and leave early? All those things.
Very important.
You don't want to be the one trying to drag your husband to church. You want to be like, you want him to be the one saying, babe, we need to go, we need to serve, we need to join in with this, whatever. And that's really, really important. And someone that will encourage you in your walk with God.
Amen.
Yes, okay, I think I'm done.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Jaya. Oh.
Thank you so much for blessing us. And yeah, guys, that was my amazing Mary Izzi, the wife of Izzi, the one that takes life easy. So guys, that's the end of our video today. We hope you've been blessed. You can leave questions below if you want Mary to reply to your questions, and she will be ready to answer. And yeah, that's us.
Oh, thanks, guys.
We want to say